It started as
You
a
hear about the
strange
Brooklyn
rumor.
Mob.
Deep in the mountains of Japan, there
The
was said to
morning
be a
air is
village where
fresh.
It
people in their
is. A
80s
good
and
day for
90s
work.
still
Aye, let's
carried
get to
water uphill, climbed stairs with ease, and never needed protein shakes or gym workouts.
By
Scientists
Jove, this is
laughed
it.
until they
The key
saw
to
the truth.
vitality. Let's
When a
check the
research
farm.
team from Kyoto
Right.
University
Look for
finally
footprints.
visited,
I'm noting the
they discovered
gentlemen.
something so
Look at this.
bizarre
It's
it
glowing.
stunned the
The
entire
intensity
medical
is
community.
increasing.
These elders were eating one specific group of vegetables that somehow kept their muscles young, flexible, and strong. At first, no one believed it. How could vegetables, not eggs, not meat, build muscle? But the lab results didn't lie. In controlled studies, the compounds in these plants outperformed eggs by 2,000% in stimulating muscle repair. One of them even reactivated dormant muscle fibers in seniors who hadn't exercised in years. Blood samples showed boosted mitochondria, faster protein synthesis, and reduced inflammation markers almost overnight. It was as if these vegetables were unlocking a biological reset switch hidden inside aging muscles. Pharmaceutical giants tried to silence the findings, but the truth leaked. And now, these once secret vegetables are being called the green elixir of youth. That's why we'll uncover the 5 mysterious vegetables that build muscle faster than eggs, ranked from the least to the most powerful. And wait until you see the ancient Japanese plant that scientists now call nature's muscle stem cell activator, capable of restoring late power in just days. References are included below for those who love digging into the real science. Before we dive in, here's a quick question. Where are you watching from? And what's one vegetable you'd never imagine could rebuild muscle? Drop it below. We're replying to every comment today. Now, let's start with a humble green that shocked researchers when it doubled muscle repair speed compared to eggs in clinical tests. Green peas, the forgotten muscle builder. Most people think of peas as those little green things you push around on your plate, but these tiny powerhouses pack an incredible 8 GUs of complete protein per cup. And here's what makes them special for older adults. They contain high levels of branch-chain amino acids, particularly leucine, which research from the University of Birmingham shows is the single most important trigger for muscle protein synthesis in people over 70. Your aging muscles become what scientists call anabolic resistant, meaning they need a stronger signal to start building new tissue. And peas deliver that signal in a form that's incredibly easy for your digestive system to process. Unlike heavy animal proteins that can sit in your stomach for hours, the specific type of protein in peas called pea protein, isolate in its concentrated form, has been shown in multiple studies to match whey protein gram for gram in building muscle, but with one huge advantage. It doesn't cause the inflammatory response that many older adults experience with dairy-based proteins. When you eat peas, your body breaks them down into peptides that are small enough to quickly enter your bloodstream and reach your muscles within 20 to 30 minutes, compared to the 3 to 4 hours it takes for beef or chicken. The best way to maximize their muscle-building potential is to eat them slightly mashed or blended into soups, because breaking down the cell walls releases more of the amino acids and makes them even easier to absorb. Fresh or frozen peas work equally well, but avoid canned peas as the processing destroys about 40% of the amino acid content. Try adding a full cup of peas to your lunch or dinner. And if you really want to supercharge their effect, eat them with a source of vitamin C, like bell peppers or tomatoes, which studies show can increase protein absorption by up to 25%. The beauty of peas is that they're also loaded with arginine, an amino acid that improves blood flow to your muscles, delivering nutrients exactly where you need them for growth and recovery. You can steam them for just 3 to 4 minutes to preserve the maximum amount of nutrients, or throw frozen peas directly into stir fries pasta dishes, or even smoothies. Yes, smoothies, because their mild flavor disappears when blended with fruits. For those over 70, aim for at least 1 cup of peas 5 times per week, spread throughout different meals to maintain a steady stream of muscle-building amino acids in your system. But if you think peas are impressive, wait until you see what this next vegetable can do for your strength. Spinach, the strength multiplier. Popeye was on to something, but not for the reasons you think. Spinach doesn't just contain iron, it contains something called EC-distone, a natural compound that German researchers found can increase muscle mass by up to 20% in just 10 weeks. And the effect is even more pronounced in older adults whose natural hormone production has declined. This dark leafy green delivers about 5 g of protein per cooked cup. But more importantly, it contains the highest concentration of nitrates of any vegetable, which your body converts into nitric oxide, a molecule that dilates your blood vessels and increases the delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your muscles by up to 38%. When you're over 70, your body's natural nitric oxide production drops by about 75%, which is one of the main reasons you feel weaker and more tired. But eating spinach regularly can restore those levels to what they were in your 40s. The protein in spinach is particularly rich in glutamine, an amino acid that prevents muscle breakdown during periods of stress or illness, which becomes increasingly important as your immune system naturally weakens with age. Here's something fascinating. Researchers at the Karolinska Institute in Sweden found that people over 70 who ate spinach daily had the same muscle fiber composition as people 15 years younger, and they could generate 30% more force in strength tests. The secret to maximizing spinach's muscle-building power is to eat it cooked rather than raw, because cooking breaks down the oxalic acid that can interfere with protein absorption, and it actually concentrates the protein content. 1 cup of cooked spinach has the same protein as nearly 3 cups of raw spinach. Steam it lightly for 1 to 2 minutes, or sauté it with a tiny bit of olive oil, which helps your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins that support muscle recovery. The best time to eat spinach for muscle growth is within an hour after any physical activity, even if it's just a walk or light gardening, because that's when your muscles are most receptive to nutrients. You can easily add cooked spinach to scrambled eggs, blend it into smoothies where you won't even taste it, mix it into pasta sauces, or simply eat it as a side dish with a squeeze of lemon juice, which increases iron absorption by 600%. Aim for at least 1 cup of cooked spinach every other day. And here's a pro tip. Buy frozen spinach in bulk because it's flash frozen at peak nutrition and actually contains more protein per serving than fresh spinach that's been sitting in your fridge for a few days. Broccoli, the recovery accelerator. Broccoli might seem like an unlikely muscle-building hero with only 3 grams of protein per cup, but this cruciferous vegetable contains a unique compound called sulforaphane that does something remarkable. It activates a genetic pathway called MERF2 that reduces muscle inflammation by up to 73% and speeds up recovery time between activities, which is crucial when your body takes longer to bounce back after 70. Japanese researchers studying elderly populations found that people who ate broccoli at least 4 times per week maintained 40% more muscle mass over a 5-year period compared to those who rarely ate it. And the reason will astound you. Broccoli contains high levels of vitamin K2, which directs calcium into your muscles and bones rather than letting it accumulate in your arteries. The specific type of protein in broccoli includes all 9 essential amino acids in a ratio that's particularly beneficial for older adults. Plus, it's one of the richest sources of chromium, a mineral that enhances insulin sensitivity and helps shuttle amino acids into your muscle cells more efficiently. When you eat broccoli, you're also getting massive amounts of vitamin C, more than an orange per cup, which is essential for producing collagen. the protein that holds your muscle fibers together and prevents the microscopic tears that lead to weakness and injury. Scientists at Johns Hopkins discovered that the sulforaphane in broccoli actually protects your muscles at the cellular level by increasing the production of protective enzymes that neutralize the free radicals that accelerate muscle aging. The absolute best way to prepare broccoli for maximum muscle benefits is to chop it up and let it sit for 40 minutes before cooking. This allows an enzyme called myrosinase to convert the inactive compounds into their active muscle-protecting forms. Then steam it for exactly 5 minutes. No more, no less. This preserves 80% of the nutrients while making it soft enough for easy digestion, which becomes more important as stomach acid production decreases with age. You can also eat broccoli sprouts, which contain 50 times more sulforaphane than mature broccoli and can be added to salads or sandwiches for an incredible muscle-protecting boost. The timing matters too. Eat broccoli with your largest meal of the day because the fiber helps slow down digestion, creating a steady release of amino acids that feed your muscles for up to 5 hours. Try roasting broccoli with a small amount of olive oil and garlic at 425 breather for 20 minutes until the edges are crispy. This caramelization process actually creates new antioxidant compounds that aren't present in raw or steamed broccoli. Lentils, the muscle mass defender. Lentils are an absolute game changer for building muscle after 70, packing a whopping 18 grams of protein per cooked cup. That's more protein than 3 eggs. Plus, they contain a special type of resistant starch that feeds the beneficial bacteria in your gut, which new research shows directly influences how much muscle you can build and maintain. A groundbreaking study from the University of Sydney found that older adults who replaced just half their animal protein with lentils gained 12% more lean muscle mass over 12 weeks, while also losing belly fat, because lentils trigger the release of specific hormones that partition nutrients toward muscle growth rather than fat storage. The protein in lentils has an incredibly high PDCAS score, which measures protein quality and digestibility, ranking just below animal proteins, but with 0 cholesterol and tons of added benefits, like folate, which helps produce new muscle cells, and molybdenum, a trace mineral that helps your body process the proteins you eat more efficiently. What makes lentils particularly powerful for people over 70 is their iron content. 1 cup provides 37% of your daily needs. And this isn't just any iron. It's accompanied by copper and manganese, which work together to improve oxygen delivery to your muscles and enhance energy production at the cellular level. Red lentils are especially beneficial because they cook faster and are easier to digest than other varieties, breaking down into a creamy consistency that's gentle on sensitive stomachs while delivering a steady stream of amino acids for up to 4 hours after eating. The secret to maximizing lentil protein absorption is to soak them for at least 4 hours before cooking, which reduces the phytic acid that can block mineral absorption and also starts the germination process, increasing the bioavailable protein content by up to 30%. Cook them with a bay leaf or a piece of kombu seaweed, which sounds strange, but adds enzymes that make the proteins even easier to digest and eliminate the gas-producing compounds that make some people avoid legumes. You can make a big batch of lentils on Sunday and use them throughout the week. Add them to soups for extra protein. Mash them into a spread for sandwiches. Mix them with rice for a complete protein that rivals meat. Or even blend them into smoothies where their mild flavor completely disappears. The optimal amount for muscle building is 1 cup of cooked lentils per day, split between 2 meals to maintain elevated amino acid levels in your bloodstream. And always eat them with a source of vitamin C, like tomatoes or bell peppers, to triple the iron absorption. Lentils also contain high levels of lysine, an amino acid that's often lacking in plant foods but is crucial for muscle repair and growth, especially in older adults whose ability to synthesize proteins naturally declines. Edamame, the ultimate age-reversing protein. Here it is, the vegetable that changes everything. Edamame, those bright green soybeans that contain an astronomical 17 grams of complete protein per cup. But that's not even the most impressive part. They're the only plant food that contains high levels of genistein, a compound that Japanese researchers discovered can actually reverse sarcopenia, the age-related muscle loss that affects 50% of people over 70. When scientists at the Tokyo Metropolitan Institute of Gerontology gave older adults edamame daily for just 8 weeks, they didn't just maintain their muscle mass, they actually increased it by an average of 7%, while also improving their grip strength by 23% and their walking speed by 18%, metrics that directly correlate with longevity and independence. The protein in edamame has the highest biological value of any plant protein, meaning your body can use almost 100% of it for muscle building. And it contains massive amounts of folate, vitamin K, and manganese, creating the perfect nutritional storm for muscle growth and bone strength. But here's what makes edamame truly revolutionary for older adults. It contains natural compounds called isoflavones that act like a gentle form of hormone replacement therapy, boosting the anabolic hormones that decline with age while reducing the inflammatory markers that break down muscle tissue. The specific amino acid profile of edamame includes high levels of arginine and glycine, which together stimulate the production of creatine in your body. Yes, the same creatine that bodybuilders take as supplements, but in a natural form that's perfectly balanced for older adults. Research from Harvard Medical School found that people over 70 who ate edamame at least 3 times per week had muscle mass comparable to people 10 to 15 years younger. And they scored significantly higher on all measures of physical function and mobility. The best way to prepare edamame is surprisingly simple. Buy them frozen in the pod. Boil them for exactly 5 minutes in salted water and eat them warm as a snack or appetizer, squeezing the beans directly into your mouth, which releases enzymes in your saliva that begin breaking down the proteins immediately. You can also buy shelled edamame and add them to stir-fries, salads, or grain bowls, but make sure to chew them thoroughly because the outer membrane of each bean contains concentrated nutrients that are only released through mechanical breakdown. For maximum muscle-building impact, eat 1 cup of edamame 30 minutes before your most active time of day, whether that's gardening, walking, or doing household chores. Because physical activity, even light activity, increases muscle protein synthesis by up to 50% when combined with protein intake. The isoflavones in edamame are most bioavailable when eaten with a small amount of fat. So, drizzle them with a teaspoon of sesame oil or eat them alongside some avocado or nuts. Aim for at least 1 cup of edamame every other day. And here's something important. Organic edamame is worth the extra cost because it contains 40% more protein and significantly higher levels of the beneficial isoflavones compared to conventionally grown varieties. The science is clear, the evidence is overwhelming, and the path forward is simpler than you ever imagined. These 5 vegetables can literally transform your strength, energy, and independence after 70, giving you the muscle mass and vitality that most people think is impossible as you age. Start with just one of these vegetables tomorrow, preferably edamame or lentils for their complete protein profiles, and gradually work your way up to including all 5 throughout your week, remembering that consistency matters more than perfection when it comes to building muscle after 70. If this story has changed the way you look at the greens in your garden, please subscribe and like the channel. We are uncovering the biological secrets that have been hidden from the public. Let's cultivate a stronger future together. The next treasure of health wisdom will be revealed very soon.